Hello guys, it's Christian from Emotions in Wine. Welcome back. Today few hours in Ljubljana, the capital of Slovenia. Here is the main square, that is the hill with the castle. I will not go to see it, just look a bit around. There is the river just behind these buildings. It's a mid-January, cold day, now near the river. The castle is up there. A lot of bars and restaurants along the river, nice, with the high walls surrounding. It's about 500,000 population of Ljubljana with the hinterland, so it's still a very livable city. And soon we will head to the Landerik restaurant for the lunch. So today will be a revamp, relaunch if you can say, of Wine, Food and Places series, with this few hours stop in Ljubljana for the lunch. This is a very famous spot. 3 bridges, one for the cars, 2 for the pedestrian. It's a small square with a church. So here we are inside Landerik. About 5 years open. Actually they were unlucky because they opened just before COVID, so the beginning was very tough. Modern, as you can see, very minimalist but elegant. Nice lighting, cozy place. Here we are sitting. Minimalist, as I said, very nice. Start to look at the menus. Simple, not that extensive. Lunch is usually 3-course set menu. And then for the night they have few options, 4, 5, 7 and 9. As you can see, price is very reasonable. Then they have also a la carte. Not too many options, but quite a few, but quite different. So when they do the set menu, usually they do different dishes. Just a few are picked from here. There is tuna marinated, then of course they do beef tartare, beef, chicken, and fish also for the main. Then some pasta, even made by them, and some vegetables, and then just a couple of desserts. Maybe I didn't mention before, the owner is a former football player. Wine list about 100 wines, only Slovenian. Some sparkling, white wine, the usual Rebola, which is Ribolla in Friuli in Italy. Several other blends or local varieties. Of course the Chardonnay, the Sauvignon, Zelen, which is a typical grape of Vipavska. Price is reasonable, bottle 40, 50, even 35. Then reds, of course a lot of Merlot, Cabernet, some blends, and then you see just a couple of rosé and sweet wines. So first wine is from Vipavska Dolina, which is nearby, I mentioned before, is nearby the border with Italy. Brda is the Slovenian Collio, so really close to Friuli. This is a bit inner, but still 20 kilometers away. Guerila is the winery, Pinela is the grape. Pinela is one of the 2 local varieties, the other is Zelen. 22 vintage, 13 alcohol, organic certified. So as I said, they have only Slovenian, mostly no big names, just a couple of wines. Interesting things, a couple of the wineries that I was curious to try. Color is, okay, 22, so of course it's already ripe, but it's still on the golden, not too much actually. So it's biodynamic declared. Some white fruit, but some floral.
So you're starting off with homemade bread and butter combination. The bread itself is sourdough based.
Okay.
Right beside it, you have fried potatoes with herbal mayonnaise and trout roe. And in front of you, parsley foam, beneath which you have fried beef cheeks.
So this is the parsley foam with the beef cheek. And here the potato with trout eggs, so let's say trout caviar, and then bread and butter homemade. After asking, came out that there is oak and neither that big but used, so that's why there is really, I was a bit in doubt, but it's just giving a bit of roundness. The foam first. So inside at the bottom there is the beef cheek piece, so it's surrounded by the foam. Nice one, Miss Bush. And see the potatoes. Very interesting. The potato is soft inside, but very crunchy outside. I don't know how they made it. Very tasty. Even the potato is sad. Then the touch of saltiness from the eggs. The match with the wine is perfect.
So you have beef consommé with homemade noodles, meat and vegetables.
Thank you. Something classic because it's traditional, especially with beef broths, of course modernized, and with the twist, the touch of the noodles. It's Chinese influence, but of course it's homemade by them. Let's say curious. Good. It's a traditional dish, nothing crazy, presented a bit more modern. Good tastes of the beef. The broth is very clean. The noodles are nice. Just carrots, some parsley, and a piece of beef also on the side. So, nice dish.
So wine option number 1, Grašica or Welsh Rizling. 10 days of maceration, otherwise spontaneous fermentation, a little bit of oak, and concrete as well. Enjoy.
Thank you. Burja is the winery. Grašica, as you said, wine, grape, 2023 vintage, organic certified. So this has a lot. Maceration is not orange wine, but on that direction. 10 days is already quite a bit. Also from Vipavska Dolina, so the same region of the previous one, near Italy, 13.5 alcohol. This is Welsh Riesling or Italian Riesling, which is different from Rhine Riesling. Usually not much complexity, quite easy drinking. So of course they do a bit of oak, the maceration is another story. The noodles, homemade, were very nice. I have been living in Asia, so great quality. Yeah, here, the usual point that I always say, cannot recognize the grape in this kind of macerations for the whites.
Here we have wine option number 2, 2 Rieslings actually, side by side, but not Welsh this time.
Yes.
The one true Riesling, as people would say. But this one is from the north of Slovenia, so from Štajerska this time, and stainless steel.
Okay, thank you. So Joannes, Protner, is the name, German name. So this is near Austria, near Maribor, which is the northernmost, the second town of the country. So Rhine Riesling 2020, wow, small. 12.5 alcohol is a screw cap, but 2020, interesting. Completely another story. The other is maceration oak. This one is Rhine Riesling, lower alcohol and made in the fresh way for sure, but is 4.5 almost years old, which is not little. Mature, very mature fruit. It's still not golden, so the color is keeping well. Riesling is aging, it's the white grape that has the most potential. But screw cap, so I don't expect this is a premium. The classic petrol or those notes, not really now. Just a hint of something like that. Dry. I think there may be a slight residual, but it's dry. The acidity must be high. Actually shows younger on the mouth and on the nose. The nose, the ripe fruit marks more. Is interesting, also not tropical, so not too aromatic intensity, which I prefer usually. All new things. So this, as said, is Štajerska, which is the northernmost part of the country near Austria. So there is more Rhine Riesling there, and Keckfrankosch, so Blaufränkisch in German, red, and some other grapes as usual, also some Sauvignon and others.
So what you have in front of you is roasted cauliflower with cauliflower puree, hazelnuts, and young spinach with smoky dressing.
Thank you very much. So, roasted cauliflower with cauliflower puree, powder of hazelnuts, and spinach with the dressing. So something simple, but as you can see, looking refined. The spinach with a touch of acidity, I think, the dressing, and then the cauliflower fried. It's brown, so it was really pan fried for a bit. Good. Consider a simple dish, but very refined taste, texture, has some layers, so a bit of sweetness from the cauliflower, even in the cream, but the cream is more delicate. Then the almond, crunchy and giving the taste, a bit bitter. Then the burnt a bit, change a bit of, and then the dressing, so very nice. The Rhine Riesling is doing a great job with it. Its acidity is cleaning perfectly and has a good even structure to hold the dish. Change a bit, but still, yeah, different, some herbal. Now the macerated, the Italian Riesling. It's becoming more interesting actually, but it's involved a bit, showing a bit of freshness, some floral. Not much acidity though to hold. It's a bit round. That is another handicap. Majority of the macerated wines are rounder, so they are even not that great for the food pairing. So now we move on with the main course and the reds.
So as a wine option number one, we are sticking with Burja, Žorž, otherwise the grape variety Pinot Noir, but Žorž is the name of a single vineyard.
Okay.
There's the wine in, aged in 1,000 liters old oak.
Thank you. So still Vipavska Dolina. Burja, the same winery, we had Macerated White, 2020 vintage, 13.5 alcohol, single vineyard, aging used oak. Classic Pinot Noir color, light ruby. Is not the warm Vipavska Dolina. They have some good Pinot Noirs there. Majority of the wines are Pinot Noir, so Modri Pinot they call, or Merlot or Cabernet. There are many very good Merlot. The restaurant is empty. They told me that in this season, lunch, there is not much movement. Better for me, not for them, of course.
And wine option number two, this time from Goriška Brda. As the name Corpus suggests, a bit more body, a bit fuller palate, otherwise a cuvée between Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot and Cabernet Franc.
Classic Bordeaux brand. Kabaj. Corpus, Kabaj, 2012, 13 alcohol. I know the guy. I met him 17 years ago. He's French. He married a Slovenian woman. He was winemaker in France.
And as your third and final dish, deer with meat reduction sauce, carrots and carrot.
Beautiful, thank you. So being a very green country, Slovenia is normal. They have a lot of game. It's quite popular. And it's a long time I don't have something like this. You see, cooked perfectly, rare, medium rare, with this reduction sauce. Then carrots puree, and then this sort of green mayonnaise. We'll see, looks gorgeous. So 12 years old, the Bordeaux blend. From Goriška, Brda, so they're really on the border with Italy. The color is still very lively. I don't see any Garnet. Ruby, okay, a touch of Garnet. But on the nose is showing a lot of ripeness. These kind of wines usually, when they are open, they don't last well. The Pinot Noir is showing well, very nice. Fruit, not too much spicy, touch of earthy already. Great acidity. Yeah, great acidity. Really very lively still. Let's see. The deer. Very tender. Perfect. Great taste. The reduction is very good. Very delicate, but giving a bit of punch. Let's see how is the carrot. There is also some sort of green mayonnaise. I don't know what is that. Of course, the sweet of the carrot. And this green mayonnaise is a perfect combination to reduce a bit the sweetness of the carrot. And of course, the reduction is a bit acidic. So also contrasting the sweetness. Different from Burgundy, different even from North Italy in general. More acidity usually. This is one of those. fruit, and then even in this case not much spiciness, more tertiary notes. Very interesting, I like it. It's quite characteristic of Slovenian terroir. Here there is a lot of ripeness. I think it's more that the bottle is open 3 days than itself the age, because the color is still fine. So it's but the character is already away from the fruit, more than tertiary notes. As you see, it's all live. Didn't predetermine the wines and anything. The acidity is still good actually. So the wine is still alive. Maybe the air gave too much oxidation. On the palate is better. Still a nice freshness. It's not bold at all. So back home for the final conclusions. More proper than staying on the street. First, I admit a mistake, too many wines, 5, that made it a bit extended, so I had to edit and cut a bit more. Next time I will reduce for sure. Sorry for that, guys. At least it was the first time about Slovenia in general. Some interesting things, even if majority of the grapes were the usual suspects. The food was traditional but modernized, as you've seen. It's quite a new restaurant. I haven't been before. I just heard from a friend. Is so a modern twist of some classics. Layers, as you've seen. I was surprised of some things. So the chef is quite good. Value is very good, as you've seen, especially if you do the menus. But then, of course, you need to trust the chef. So he is cooking with layers, a lot of contrast, acidity, sweetness. That is very interesting. The potato, for example, at the beginning, the amuse-bouche, was a surprise because it was very soft, as I said, but crunchy. That they explained me is about the temperature of the frying. Cauliflower was the most surprising, a very simple dish, how they made it. Even the crunchiness of the cauliflowers themselves, but with strong fire, I think, so burnt a bit. So that giving it the taste. So very interesting. Is something I would recommend. Is a recommended of the Michelin guide. So I think is a nice name to consider if you are heading there. Wines, interesting because it's all Slovenian and some smaller makers also. Pity mostly is that they didn't give me more local varieties. That would have been more interesting, but depending also on what they had open. So let's talk about the bill. As you can see, they charge the wines, menu. I just asked not to have the sweet. He made a change because I'm not a dessert guy, and then I try to avoid as much as I can gluten. In desserts usually there is much more. Even if for you guys I know it's a bit a miss, but anyway, as you've seen, they have only a couple of desserts, so that was not the core here. They offer me only the coffee and the amuse-bouche, of course. All the rest was charged, so reasonable price, €56.65. Cozy place, not big, not too small. So I hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment please, and see you next time. Thank you guys.